Welcome to another Unitrend Certified Administrator course. Today we're going to be talking about performing file level recoveries via iSCSI for both Windows and Linux machines. Note that this is an advanced operation and not typically necessary unless you have specific configurations that require it. For example, if you're using Windows Dynamic Disks, because it requires two volumes to restore the data from, we have to mount both of them at the same time in order to be able to do a file of recovery from the data. Also, with certain Linux systems, if they're part of a volume group or use a file system that we don't support, you may have to use iSCSI to mount that disk to the system. Jumping into the UI here, under the Recover tab, under our Backup Catalog. We can then drill down into here and find a system that we'd like to recover using iSCSI. For example, if I need to maintain permissions with my file server, I can choose Recover Files and hit Confirm. This will start the process of figuring out what blocks in the database made up the disk at this point in time. Once we have those blocks, we can then mount the disk image to the Unitrend's appliance, and we'll make it available to you via both CIFS and iSCSI whenever possible. But if CIFS is not possible, or if you need to be able to maintain the permissions, we'll be able to access this via iSCSI. What we do is we bring up the Microsoft iSCSI initiator and point it at the Unitrend's appliance itself. You'll see that there is an iSCSI LUN for File 1 currently available. From there, we'll go into Disk Management, and we can see the disk from that file server is now here. If I online the disk, I'll then be able to see the volumes for it. And then I can drill down into here and find whatever files or folders that I want to restore. And these will, of course, have their permissions intact. When I'm done, I simply come back, offline the disk, bring back up the iSCSI initiator. We'll tell it to disconnect. We'll come to Discovery and remove it. And once that's done, we can come back to the Unitrend's UI and hit Remove and hit Confirm. And that will tear down the share. For Linux systems, this is a bit more involved. We'll need to come back to our backup catalog, open our machine, and choose again File Level Recovery. After this process completes, we'll need to log into a Linux system so that way we can download the script that allows us to do the iSCSI mount. I am already logged into my appliance here, and I have the file already downloaded. But for those of you who need to know where that is at, if we come to the Show Details menu here, in just a moment, the script is available right here. So we would wget, then we would do chmod plus x iSCSI FLR to make it executable, and then we can run the file. You'll see here that the command that we'd like is mount. We would put in the IP address of the Unitrend's appliance, and we'll see that we can then choose where we'd like this to be restored. Test restore 1. Then I select the session, and we can see it's the Red Hat machine. After this finishes mounting, it'll give us a list of the locations where it was able to successfully mount partitions. You can see right here that we can come to this here, here, and see the files for the file system underneath it. Then I can copy these out using SCP or other utilities within Linux. When I'm done, I just run the script again and tell it to unmount. Then from there, we will return back to the Unitrend's UI to tell it to remove and hit Confirm to tear down the iSCSI share. Now, obviously, these iSCSI LUNs do contain all of the information for your systems with no security permissions around that. We can enable chat to enforce further security. This is available here under the Appliances, Edit, Advanced, iSCSI chat settings to enable more security if required. But that's all for today. For further information, please check our guides online or reach out to the support team for further information. Thank you and have a wonderful day.